What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in business happenings for gaming, esports, and creator news. I'm your host, Mark Kai. We're here for the first week of August 2023. Let's dive right into it. Our first top 3 story, Twitch have implemented changes into their skin gambling policy. So Twitch is going to take one step further with its fight against unregulated gambling content. It is now banned Blaze and Gamdom, and Cody the One Goal reported on this earlier this week, so I want to give him a quick shout out here. Additionally, promotion of the sponsorship promotion and sponsorship of skin gambling is now also prohibited according to Twitch safety guidelines such as CSGO skins. This has pretty big implications for Counter-Strike specifically, since content creator 𝗠ป์𝗿𝗶, I think that's how you pronounce his name, mentioned how over 200 of the top 300 most watched CSGO streamers this year have a CSGO skin gambling sponsorship to make money. And also, even earlier this year when CSGO, or when G2 Esports partnered with CSGO Roll, they drew a lot of attention in the community with Valve banning gambling as part of their terms of service, as well as Australian regulators banning CSGO Roll in their country. So Twitch does take into consideration factors such as whether a site is licensed in the US or other jurisdictions that provides sufficient consumer protections, or if streamers use or encourage VPNs to evade geoblocking. Since Twitch's actually gambling policy went live in effect of October of 2022, viewership of the content dropped 75%, and most of it has seemingly gone to Kick. As per Esports charts, as said earlier, or reported earlier, Kick saw 13.3 million hours watched on its slots and casino category, while Twitch had 22.8 million hours watched in the casino slot machine category in July of 2023. Interesting to see how vastly different approaches these two platforms are taking to such a sensitive area of streaming, and how it'll attract different advertisers, streamers, and communities. For our second top 3 story, I just kind of actually want to go over the top sponsors of esports events. So this is actually a pretty cool bunch of stats from Esports charts, so I want to share this with you, and you might want to actually go check out Esports charts for yourself if you want more details. But for reference, these stats are compiled for the first half of 2023. So if we're looking at most represented brands in esports by the number of tournaments they sponsor that have over a $250,000 prize pool. I know it's kind of a weird metric here, but the top dog there is Monster Energy with 14 tournaments. Intel follows that with 13, then Secret Lab with 10, Acer with 9, DHL with 7, and Red Bull and Prime Gaming with 6. What's interesting is also that Monster Energy is involved in 6 games, the most of any brand in the esports space. For games specifically, League of Legends has 33 sponsors, followed by 25 for CSGO, then 18 for Valorant and MLBB, as well as Arena Valor, then Dota 2 with 14 sponsors, Fortnite with 13 brands, and then PUBG with 8. So what's also interesting is that with PC esports, the largest sponsor category is usually computer and peripherals, but for mobile esports like Arena, Valor, and Mobile Legends Bang Bang, the top sponsor category is video platforms and streaming services. It also seems like for Arena Valor Esports specifically, fans like food and beverage a lot, because those are the next 2 top sponsor categories after video platforms and streaming services. Evidently, we don't always know, the sponsor a brand that aren't native to our own region. So maybe they're sponsoring brands and you just don't know the brand because they're not in whatever region you're at. And also the value of each sponsorship, right? But this simply shows how much of the esports space is lifted by brands and sponsorships in general, plus how much of a dominating factor Monster has in the esports space as well. That being said, I think this would also be good to put in perspective from the team side, like which are the top brands sponsoring various esports teams, since it doesn't cover this as much. Also, a breakdown by region could be interesting, but either way, thank you so much Esports charts for this. Valve have overhauled their Counter-Strike esports ecosystem. Evidently, there are a lot of changes for CS2 releasing in the near future, but here are the new requirements for large-scale competitive events here. Tournament organizers will no longer have unique business relationships or other conflicts of interest with teams that participate in their events. Invitations to all tournaments will use Valve's ranking system, or otherwise to be determined by open qualifiers, and any compensation from participating teams, prize pool or otherwise, will be made public and will be driven by objective criteria that can be inspected by the community. So some changes here won't be implemented immediately given current obligations and commitments, such as how ESO had the extension of the LOV agreement to 2025, and Valve hopes to implement these changes by the start of 2025, given that's when the agreement ends. But I've seen some pretty good takes on this on HLTV, which is the forum for a lot of things Counter-Strike related. The user 𝗠ป์𝗿𝗶 said that it will definitely change the viewership that CS gets, for better or for worse. I doubt it'll end the scene entirely, as it says in the article. Valve is enforcing a return to the ecosystem that this game built its professional professional scene from. They proceed to say that this is a bad change for viewers that watch the tournament solely by namesake. Maybe they're diehard fans of a certain name, or maybe more casual viewers, but this is really good news for the competitive ecosystem, and therefore viewers might want to actually watch to return the best CS. So I think it's a pretty solid take here, and it will basically make it better for teams for the sake of actual esports, right? Competitiveness rather than just viewership, right? Getting the same more popular teams over and over again, even if they're not that great. But people, once again, might not be able to see their favorite team. Even if they're big, they might not be good. So this is actually a pretty huge change actually from Valve, and historically unlike Valve to actually make huge changes, given they're super hands-off with their esports. But I am really curious to see how the teams ultimately react to this and what they'll have to do in the future. As far as partnerships go, Microsoft partnered with Square Enix. Both parties said that Final Fantasy XIV will be available on Xbox Series S and X models this year or next year. This was a surprise announcement during the joint keynote with Square Enix and Microsoft, and Final Fantasy XVI was a PS5 exclusive, and so is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So this is a little bit of a change here. ESL Faceit Group partnered with 𝗠𝗿𝗶 Global Solutions. EFG will use AGS's Ghost Frame technology to enhance their live broadcasts, which will allow fans tuning in to experience enhanced viewing experiences or features such as realistic graphic layovers, hidden camera tracking, and multiple source video feeds. As a Counter-Strike esports fan, I'm quite excited for this. G2 Esports partnered with 𝗠𝗿𝗄 Analytics. G2 will use 𝗠𝗿𝗄 Analytics AI tools to monitor their partnership performance, though the length of this partnership was not actually revealed itself. 𝗠𝗿𝗄 will now work with Team Vitality, 9, and the Bali Major for Dota 2, and more. Wild partnered with the Belfast Metropolitan College. This collaboration will focus on an initiative for free summer camps for girls between the ages of 15 and 18, which will be supported by esports industry and pro players. This is a part of a broader initiative created by both parties called Girls in Esports to promote girls being involved in the esports space. The Evolution Championship Series partnered with AT&T. AT&T became EVO's official 5G and internet provider for the event happening this weekend in Las Vegas. They collaborate on a variety of unique broadcast enhancements, in addition to offering a range of activations for spectators at the event itself. 2K partnered with 1UP. 1UP will be the official on-demand esports platform for the NBA 2K franchise in this multi-year deal, with the partnership beginning with NBA 2K24. 1UP will host a series of free-to-enter online tournaments following the launch of the game to promote participation in esports tournaments. As far as finance and M&A goes, Playtika have acquired Yuta Games' portfolio. The acquisition is an initial cash consideration of 81.3 million euros, with extra earnouts based on the performance of the acquired business. The transaction is expected to complete by the end of Q3 this year, subject to conditions and regulations. And Yuta Games is most notable for its Governor of Poker game series, which has over 10 million downloads on the Google Play Store alone. InWorld AI have raised $50 million. The raise was led by Lightspeed Venture Partners and brings the company to over $500 million in their valuation. With over $100 million in total funding, they're the top funded startup within AI and the gaming at the intersection of those two areas, and they'll use the round to accelerate R&D, hire top talent, and launch an open source version of its character engine. Gem Capital have launched a $50 million gaming fund. The fund is looking to invest in free-to-play and premium PC and console games, as well as mid-core mobile games and game tech companies in Cyprus, Eastern Europe, and the MENA region. The investments will look to be between $2 and $5 million, concentrated on pre-seed, seed, and Series A investments mostly. Andreessen Horowitz have announced Speedrun 2024 with a $75 million investment pool. Speedrun 2024 is an accelerated program that will focus on pre-seed startups that will prove to be the most promising in the gaming space. Next year, we'll focus on the intersection between gaming and tech with an 8-week-long training course to support the best gaming founders in their dev journey. Mentors include both Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, as well as Mark Pincus of Zynga, Stephen Lim of Riot, Kevin Lin of Twitch, and many more. As far as workforce changes go, Emma McDonald has been promoted to COO of Newzoo. Emma has spent nearly 11 years at the company, starting off as a junior data analyst, moving all the way up to director of marketing, most recently before promotion. Before her time at Newzoo, she was the editor-in-chief of Business of Games, and she will now oversee the company's org structure and daily operations in her new role. She holds an MBA from IE Business School. Paulina Tornqvist has been promoted to senior producer for VR games at Meta. Paulina is a content creator here on LinkedIn as well and a top voice, so hello and congrats to you, Paulina. She was most recently in her producer role for VR games for around 1.5 years at Meta. Before that, she was a producer for 2 years at Activision, working on Call of Duty, and in production work with Travian Games and Ubisoft before that as well. She holds a bachelor's in business from Lorea University of Applied Sciences. Leah Moss joins Esports Insider as a freelance writer. Leah is incredibly still in university and was a freelance writer with Radiant from 2022 to 2023. She streams on Twitch right now under the alias Neilani, and she's working towards a bachelor's in esports business from the Kajani University of Applied Sciences, where she graduates in from 2024. Raphael Arndt joins EA as a senior associate for corporate strategy. Raphael joins after finishing up his MBA earlier this year from UCLA, and he spent time at BCG after his undergrad experience in there for about 4 years, then interned at Bitcraft and Powerhouse Capital as well. As previously mentioned, he holds an MBA from UCLA and a bachelor's in business from Rollins College. Teemu Koski has joined Tala Esports as the VP of Media, Business, and Esports. Teemu has spent the last 14.5 years of his career at the Finnish telco company Elisa, heading up Elisa Esports most recently. He will now focus on building a sustainable media business to provide Yala in the Middle East region with new opportunities for esports. Colin Neese joined Screen Engine and ASI LLC as the SVP of Gaming. Colin was most recently the head of global gaming at Alida, a software company that focuses on experience management. And before that, he was with Spiketrap, and he also spent time at Venn, Twitch, and Nielsen. He holds an MBA from Chapman University. Federico Urena joins Control as a partnerships marketing manager. Federico joins after 2.5 years with BenQ, most recently as a gaming partnerships and Marcom specialist. Before that, he spent time with the Dallas Sidekicks doing digital content and social media, and he holds a bachelor's in marketing from UT Dallas. Janine Marie Faulkner joins Room 8 Group as his Chief Revenue Officer. Janine joins after spending 2.5 years with Technicolor Games as the president of the company. Before that, she was doing sales and BD for Lionbridge Games and also did partnerships for VMC in the past as well. She holds a JD from Seattle University School of Law. Alexander Amancio joins FunPlus as the SVP of IP Strategy. Alexander's entertainment experience spans many companies such as Loon Rogue, Ubisoft, and most recently Reflector Entertainment. He also previously worked with Cassette and Autodesk in many creative and executives roles there, and he self-taught in his education, which is pretty awesome. Keep up the great work, Alexander. As far as new stuff goes, Team Liquid have released their new Valorant Champions anthem. The song, which is called Turn the Tide, features artists TWIEG, Etta Hayes, and Katam, and is the anthem for their Valorant Champions 2023 participation. The collaboration was co-sponsored by Alienware and has over 15,000 views on YouTube since its release on Friday. And last but not least, G1 have yet to pay the women's Carball prize winnings and the staff related to that event. According to multiple sources, G1 has not yet paid out money owed to the teams in its women's RL circuit, which was bought from the actual KC Pioneers in February. That being said, apparently there were ex-KC Pioneer staff that were at G1 when the women's Carball deal went down. So some folks are alleging that there's strong links between these two organizations and maybe poor staffing, things like that. All I'll say is just pay your people on time. I hope those folks get paid. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the authors and brands themselves for the images and information provided. Quick shout out once again to the work that the Esports Advocate is doing in the space. Go check him out down below if you want to. I appreciate if you tag someone down below who might find this valuable or share this with your audience. And as always, everybody, have a great day.